Yo guys, what's going on and welcome back to this video today. I hope you're all doing fantastic. If you're all wondering where I've been for the past couple of weeks, I've actually just got back from a little retreat with my girlfriend. We went away, it was in the UK, we stayed in this log cabin, we had a hot tub, sauna, a huge bathtub, all that cool stuff, and had no Wi-Fi or anything like that, and I pretty much just disconnected from the world for a week, and it was the best thing I've done in a while. So if you're wondering where I've been, that's where I am. I'm back now though, trying to commit to daily uploads as much as possible. So if you are new here and you want daily business content, I'm pumping out a ton of free stuff, super valuable to help you grow your business, help you grow your personal brand, and ultimately live a better lifestyle. So if you're interested in that, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But let's jump into the main video and the main topic for today, which is how you can start a business in 2018 with absolutely no money. Before we get into the actual tips for this, I just want to quickly say there's a huge misconception out there that you need all of this capital or you need a ton of money to start a business. You need funding to start a large company. That is not true at all, right? And I'm talking from experience here. I'm not just sitting here and saying, you guys, you know, oh, you can do this, you can do that. I've experienced it firsthand. I've built a six-figure business with having no money to start. And a matter of fact, when I started my business, I was in debt. So not only did I not have any money, I was in debt to people. I owed people money, right? So are they living proof, living example if there is a way to grow very profitable businesses by having no money in the beginning? Now, does it help? Of course it helps. If you've got £1 million sitting in the bank and you're looking to start a personal brand and you chucked £1 million into ads, do you think you'll grow quicker than someone who has not got that money? Of course. If you're looking to start the next Facebook and you need to run a ton of ads or you need money for branding and all this stuff, having that money helps and there's no lying about it, right? But what I'm saying is you do not need money to get started, and there are a ton of options for you out there, whether you've got no money, whether you're in debt like I was, to actually get yourself up and running and have a large business. Like myself, I've built a six-figure business. If I wanted to, I could definitely scale this into a seven-figure business over the upcoming years. You know, so I could do that if I wanted to, right? And there's people out there who've grown massive businesses with absolutely no startup costs and no money in the beginning. So you can do that, but this video isn't necessarily about that. What this video is more so about is how you can just start a profitable business, making you a couple grand a month, you know, 5 grand, 10 grand a month, you know, maybe even 2K a month if you want to, just so you've got some money to start actually building a profitable business in your pocket where you can maybe quit your job. If you're at college, maybe you want to just earn a little bit more money whilst you're, you know, in full-time education, whatever. I want to speak to you today about how you can start making some money and the best business models for you to do so, that, like I said, that take no money at the beginning. And there's just one key point to this, and that is that it's service-based businesses. That's what it all comes down to. And let me explain a little bit about it. Now, it's what it says on the tin. A service-based business is where you offer a service in return for payment, right? They pay you to do a service. As opposed to, for example, say, a product-based company where, I don't know, you buy jumpers. Now, if you buy a jumper, just say I'm a jumper company right now, I have to have the money to buy inventory, buy stock to then sell at a profit. Then that profit, I need to reinvest to buy more stock. And yes, it can be very profitable and you can scale it very quickly. However, you do need money to start that. If you want to start a restaurant or a nightclub, you're going to need the money to A, buy out a current business or maybe rent out a property to get that started. You're going to need to market it. You're going to need to hire staff. So you've got a lot of expenses and a lot of outgoings before you have any incomings. And I'm not the biggest fan of that business model, especially when you're getting started, because a lot of you guys don't have the money, right? And if you get yourself in debt and you maybe somehow really want to get started, but you're thinking, oh, I have no money, you're putting it off. When the truth is, all you need in the beginning is a couple grand a month, get yourself up and running and figure things out from there. And if in 5 years time, 2 months time, 10 days time, if you do bloody well enough, you want to go and do this other stuff, fantastic. But I recommend you, in the beginning, you start with a service-based business. And let's talk a little bit more about that. So what do I mean by service-based business? What are some examples? So as I said before, it's when essentially, rather than you swapping like a product or something for money, you're essentially swapping a service, your time to do a service for something else, for money, sorry. So what are examples of this? Well, if you follow this channel, you know I'm massive into social media marketing. The chances are you already know what this is. That is a service-based business. Businesses pay me to manage and market their social media. What are some other examples? Video editing, photography, graphic design, SEO, marketing services, transcription services, copywriting, and like anything you can imagine that needs doing, right? Any sort of service you can imagine that needs doing for a business is out there for you to go out and claim, right? So like I said, there's tons of examples out there. If you want more examples, guys, like just go out and Google service-based businesses and you'll get a huge list of different examples that you can do, right? But these are the type of businesses that you want to start, and there are a few reasons for that, which I want to jump into now. The first one is that like I said, the whole point of this video is you don't need any money to start. I want to drill that home. You need no money to start this. Let's say you want to become a graphic designer. Okay, most people this day and age, they have a laptop, they have a computer, all right? If you have a computer and a laptop, you can start being a graphic designer. You can learn how to do it. You can use a ton of free YouTube videos. Learn. Go on freelance websites. Start off with stuff like Fiverr if you want to. And do graphic design work. That's a service-based business. It needs absolutely no money to start. Social media marketing as well. You guys know I'm massive on that. That's a big thing that this channel was about. I've even got my own course on it. Social media marketing is a fantastic business model because businesses pay you in return to manage and market their social media. As long as you have a laptop and an internet connection, this business costs no money to start. What's another example? Facebook ads, SEO, anything that you can do for someone in return needs no upfront cost. Now, so many people get romanticized with the idea of running this big chain of restaurants or having all of these hotels and owning buildings and owning this and owning that and owning all this other stuff, and that's cool. Back in the day, now so much, I'm more into the whole passive lifestyle type thing, really enjoy having free time and traveling. Like I said, I've just got back from a trip with my girlfriend for 5 days. Next month, I've just paid for me and my girlfriend to go to Amsterdam. So right now, in my current stage of life, I'm more into like the passive income and lifestyle side of things. But when I'm 40, when I'm 50, I might decide to get into owning all these different properties and things like that. And that's cool. And the whole idea of owning real estate and owning all these properties and having a chain of restaurants where you've got staff and bringing in millions of dollars a year in revenue, like that idea is cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, when you're dreaming of having all these business success, like, you know, that's what you think of, right? Having staff under you, being the boss, being the big guy. Then, you know, I'm not afraid to admit, like, I used to feel like that as well, right? And maybe one day, maybe further down the line when I want a bit more fulfillment, and I might want to dive into these things, right? But don't get too romanticized with the whole idea of having all of these staff and all this stuff in the very beginning, because you want to keep your expenses as low as possible. And that's why service-based businesses work so well, because let's use social media marketing as an example, right? With my business, the only expenses I have are expenses that incur after I get a client. So my service, you know, like most of you are familiar, I'm not gonna, you know, talk to you too much into detail about this. I manage and market social media pages for businesses, all right? So what does that need? I need a laptop and an internet connection. Now, when I get my first client, I then may need some software. I might need some tools, some social media management tools. I might need to pay for, I don't know, an outsourcer, or I may need to pay for, I don't know, a photo editing software or something like that. But I only need to invest in these things as soon as I get my first client. Because if I don't have my first client, why do I need these expenses? I don't, right? So this is why service-based businesses work so well. So another example, let's say you're a photographer, right? And obviously you may need a good camera to get started, all right? So that's a little bit of an expense there, but it's not like a huge expense. You can pick up really good solid SLR cameras nowadays for £300 to £500. Now if you don't have that money, right, save up for your birthday and for Christmas. Go get a part-time job, right? There's really easy ways to go out and actually make some money, not business related, in order to get these things if you want. I'm talking, when I say no money, I'm talking like, you know, thousands and thousands of pounds. To be fair, like photography is just one example. Like, I know with graphic design, all this other stuff, you literally need no money at all. But, you know, with photography, the only expenses you can incur, after you actually go and buy your camera, it is just maybe a photo editing software. Maybe, and then maybe a payment to Google Drive or Dropbox to store all the files that you get from your photo shoots. That's it. There's no other expenses. The expenses only incur as soon as you get your first client, because until you get that first client, you have no reason to be spending money. And those are the type of businesses you guys want to go in. Now, how do you go about this? Because I know a lot of you right now are thinking like, social media marketing, like, I don't know how to do that. Graphic design, I'm not creative, I don't know how to do that. SEO, like, I don't know how to do that. Learn. There is so much free information now on YouTube. There is so much free information on bloody Google. There's so much free information out there that you can go and get if you are willing to spend the time to learn. Go out there, craft yourself a skill, right? I really honestly recommend social media marketing and management more than anyone else. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more in a second, but I'm obviously a bit biased because it's the business that got me to where I am today. All right? It's still very profitable business for me. I love it. So I am biased saying this, but guys, I want you to hit the ground running. I want you to be able to go out, hit the ground running straight away. So yes, there are a ton of other businesses, right? So for example, I'm going to come back to social media management and marketing in just a second, but let's talk about something like SEO, right? Now, let's say I lost everything tomorrow. What would I go and do? Let's say I didn't think social media existed. Let's for an example for a second, just say it didn't exist, right? And everything else is still about, just not social media marketing. Well, what would I go ahead and do? The first thing I'd go ahead and do is craft a skill. So let's use SEO as an example. I would go online, I would find a ton of free information on YouTube about SEO. I'd spend weeks, maybe a couple of weeks to a month, diving in, learning absolutely everything in the world there is to know about SEO. Absolutely everything. Free YouTube videos, you can even go on Udemy now and get like courses for like £10, so like really cheap. Most of you guys can afford that, but even if you can't afford a tenner right now, 15, 20, 30 pound for a really cheap course on Udemy, go on YouTube, go on Google, type in SEO tips, how to do SEO, how to make backlinks, all this stuff for SEO, and learn it. Craft that skill. Now one thing here is you don't want to spend too much time crafting that skill. One big mistake a lot of people make is they spend too much time in the learning phase and not enough time in the executing stage, which is why I recommend 2 to 4 weeks to do this, right? 2 to 4 weeks solidly. Dive in depth about everything and learn as much as possible, all right? If you can't afford to pay for proper courses yet, they are better, but when you first start to get some money in, you can then reinvest into those in the beginning. Use YouTube University, completely free, Google's your best friend. From then, go out and find clients. Now there are tons of ways that you guys can go out and get clients. You know, my personal favorite, freelance. There are so many freelance websites out there. Upwork, Elance, freelancer.com, fiverr.com, peopleperhour.com, where there are businesses looking for people to take out and do these services for them. SEO, social media management, social media marketing, graphic design, Facebook ads, everything you can imagine. These freelance websites have businesses that are looking for this work to be done, and you just need to convince them that you're that person. So the first thing you can do once you've crafted that skill is go out and find them on freelance websites. The second thing you can do is, like in this one, it just is a numbers game, cold call, all right? Now, a lot of people are afraid to pick up the phone, and when I first got started, I was afraid to pick up the phone. If I had to pick it up tomorrow, I would. I'm still not the biggest fan of cold calling, however, it works. It's a numbers game. Pick up the phone, speak to business owners. The amount of money you make is directly proportionate to the amount of people that you speak to, the amount of business owners that you speak to. So speak to people, get your name out there. Another option for you is as simple as going to networking events. Like, go to networking events, have business cards and speak to people, speak to people, speak to people, speak to people. Another thing you can do is literally, if you know any business owners in your local area, right, offer to do some free work to build up a portfolio for them, and then go onto these freelance websites with a solid portfolio, with some solid testimonials, and get some clients. Cold call, go door to door, get your name out there, networking events. Now this video isn't exactly about like how you can go around to get clients, but it's more so the avenue that you guys should take, which is service-based businesses. But I'm hoping, you know, I'm getting my point enough across for you. You know, that's the main steps that I do, honestly, is learn as much as possible for free. If you have the money to invest in courses, definitely do that. It's way better. And plus the money that you put into it, it is an investment at the end of the day. So by putting money into something, you're more likely to take action on it. And you're always going to get better information on things that you invest in. And you're always more likely to take more effort at doing so anyway. And then from here, you want to execute, go out and get clients. Now I said just a minute ago I'd speak a bit more about social media marketing and management, and that's what I want to hop onto now quickly before we end out the video. And I want to tell you why it is the best business model out there and the best service-based business model out there. And this is because you can get high monthly retainers from clients, and these aren't just one-off projects. So let's look at graphic design, for example. If you're just getting started, you want to make a few hundred, even a couple thousand a month, graphic design is good. You can get people to pay you a lot of money, all right? But the only problem with this is you do the graphics for some, not all of the time. There are some people out there that pay retainers, but most of the time it's a case of, I want this doing and I'll pay you this amount. So, you know, I need a YouTube banner created, I need an outro created, all this other stuff. Okay, that'll be 100, done. Once that client's out the way, they might come back to you in the future, but it's not guaranteed. It's a one-off payment. With social media marketing and management, when you get clients, it's on a monthly retainer basis, which means they pay you every single month consistently. And as you guys know, you should know this, like cash flow is key for your business. You need money coming in. You need consistent money coming into your business, because let's say you've got a family to feed and you've got to put a roof over your head, or let's say you just want nice holidays, or you want a profitable business. If you're working from job to job, you're never going to truly know how much you're going to earn next month. Say January, you could get 10 people pay you, you know, 300 each for all these graphics, and you can make 3 grand. But then in February, you might get no clients. People might not be looking for graphic design work. You might not bump into people, and it's a lot of work, right? Something like social media marketing, as soon as you get a client, right, you spend all the time, you get the client up front. Just say you agree on 500 a month, 1,000 a month. They don't just pay you that the first month, they pay you 500 every single month consistently to do your service. It's a retainer-based service business. So that's the best thing that you can do when you first start, is get into something like that. SEO is also like that. SEO can be a retainer-based business. However, the retainers are a lot smaller, maybe a couple hundred a month maximum sometimes. Again, I'm not in SEO, so don't quote me on that, but I know it's definitely a smaller retainer most of the time, as opposed to these ones that you can get for doing social media marketing and management. So, you know, to sort of go full circle here, I hope you really understand that you do need no money to actually get started in business in 2018, especially with the internet out there. If you really don't know where to go, I recommend social media marketing and management. Get them on. It takes no money to get started. You only have expenses once you get your first few clients, and even then, those expenses are very minimal. I'm talking, I think my monthly expenses for things like tools is like 100 a month, and I'm bringing in a lot more than that. So it makes so much sense. Like a lot of these businesses, like I don't know, for example, say that you were I don't know, like I said, a restaurant. Yeah, you might be revenuing 10k a month, 15, 20k a month, but you've got to pay staff, you've got lighting, you've got rent to pay, you've got inventory to buy, you've got stock and all that stuff, you've got wastage. With social media marketing, you don't have any of that, and when you do have expenses, like I said, it's mainly software, which is 20, 30, 50, maximum like 100 a month, which you need. And then, you know, when you get into outsourcing and things like that, yeah, your expenses can get higher, but you choose if you want those expenses. They're not a necessity, right? So I hope that helped you guys. You know, if you don't have any experience with anything, go out there, really learn. If you're looking to get into social media marketing, I've got tons of free information on this YouTube channel. And as you know, I do have a course if you really want some in-depth and further learning. And I do have coaching, so if you want even further help and you're looking to get started, feel free to reach out to me. But that's not what this video is about. This video is purely about just getting you started, getting you from A to B, right? Because once you get up and running, actually, you know what, I was going to end this video here, but I want to tell you a quick story, actually. Which I think may help. When I first started my business, I was getting paid on freelance websites $7 an hour. The freelance website took 20%, so I was working for $5 an hour, which in pounds worked out to about £3.50 an hour, way below minimum wage in this country, right? And I got a client for that. So I was literally working 20 hours a week at £3.50. If I never did that, if I never took on that first client and never got my foot in the door to start learning and really jumping into business, I wouldn't be where I am today, where my whole business, it's a 6-figure business now, and I work 3 to 4 hours a month on it, just because of the systems that I've been able to build and the automating and the process I've been able to put in place that allow it to run the way it is. But I never would have been able to learn these things if I never just got started in the first place. So what I recommend you do, don't be romantic to the idea of having all this stuff and doing all this right in the beginning. Just get yourself started, guys. Learn and craft a skill. Don't overlearn, but learn enough that it can be of a value to someone. As long as you know more than someone else, you can sell them a service, or you can sell them coaching or anything along those lines. So that's what I recommend. Go out, craft yourself a skill, and then sell that skill as a service. Get people to pay you, and I recommend social media marketing and management for that. just because of the high retainers you can get for little amount of work and honestly really little amount of skill needed. It's a very simple thing to learn. So I hope that helped you guys. You do not need any money to get started. Don't be romantic with the idea, because if you want all these things long term, you can get them. Social media marketing, service-based businesses can even be a means to an end. Get yourself earning a couple grand a month, get yourself working from home, learn how to outsource it, live a bit more of a passive lifestyle, and then once you've got that, you can then use that money you earn to invest in other type of businesses and other ventures that you want to do. But get yourself started with a profitable service-based business and it will only do you good. Hope that helped, guys. Subscribe if you are new. Like I said, I've got tons of daily videos coming out, business related, and anything to help you sort of progress in life. So if it seems interested to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below and like, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.